an aerated lagoon. We're pumping air into there because we can't get enough. In a wetland, the plants are taking carbon dioxide and putting oxygen into the water. The air is dissolving in the wetland. We're just hurrying it up in the lagoon by pumping air around it. How does the wetland get rid of the infectious stuff like the E. coli? It didn't do well in the first place. The mechanisms are there. These wetlands have been doing this for millions of years. So purifying water is no big deal to them. All I'm saying is no big deal to the lagoon either. It doesn't, that infectious stuff doesn't last long. So the answer, I think, is to rethink what we're doing, get out of this business that we're in with EPA. I've looked at it. I don't see any significant change in the lagoon system if we fix it, because it's been that way since 1999. Even EPA doesn't have data before then. And I'll bet if we looked at the data from 1987, it would look the same. When they built that thing, they said they built it for 2.5 million gallons a day. It was oversized because we had the infiltration right then too. So the data is pretty constant of what the lagoon has been doing over all these years. The best time that it was working is when we got the violation notice for 120 violations. It's problematic to work with EPA. So my question is, Chalice, Stanley, and Arco aren't on the list of EPA cities filling out these NDPS permits. Why is that? Why don't they do that?
Discharging the river.
Yeah, they're not putting it into a natural waterway. That's how you get out from under EPA. I talked to the guy that wrote this permit. He said, yeah, he said, if you're not putting it in the river, EPA's not going to watch. They don't care. They're not interested. So that's what these cities did, and lots of cities do. They're doing it a little differently. They have, well, down in the Sawtooth fish hatchery had a little problem with EPA. So they put in a wetland. And you can go down there, and they made a park out of it. That's what Arcata did. But we could do the same thing, but that's further down the road. I'm saying that the development of a wetland is something like, not the Sacagawea Center, but something, that is a public access and enjoyable place to be, could happen, further down the road. What we need to do at the moment, though, is get out from under EPA. We still have to work with DEQ. DEQ says that you can do this. That's who's regulating the Chalice. If you read these permits and things the way I do, EPA was there and said, gee, we didn't hear anything from salmon. They have a new permit. They call EPA, or DEQ in Idaho Falls, go up and see what's going on. So that's what they did. I'm saying DEQ is easier to work with. We're not discharging into a river, so we don't have to meet these, although we're going to meet them anyhow. The wetland still requires maintenance and operation, but it's using the sun, not ultraviolet light. It's using the wind, not pumped air into the lagoon. So that's where those savings are, from 1/2 to 1/8 of the cost compared to a lagoon system. This part, the wastewater can, I just listed all the things, I mean the things that the wastewater can do. I'm not going to deal with those. Is there anything that you want to deal with right at the moment? That's all I had to point out, that a wetland can solve that for us. We can get out from under EPA by doing that.
I think that's the problem there.
The land.
The land.
Let's ask you this. Do any calculation as to how much land do we need?
I'm saying 100 acres would do it. If you look what Arcata says, if you look at the data that these other towns are saying, they say I have 1 million gallons, I needed 6 acres.
That one, Arcata, I think, the first one on
Yeah,
It had 2.5 million gallons a day and it needed 34 acres.
yeah,
And the other one was like 1 point something mil, it needed 5 acres.
yeah. I'm saying that there isn't any standard thread of the data here. Good sense tells me that how you manage the wetland has a lot to do with it.
Does the climate have anything to do with it?
Yes. It's more difficult in northern climate simply because the reaction is slow. What I'm pointing out, though, is the VOD and the total suspended solids doesn't change much. As long as it's not frozen, it's still working. To the extent of 90% removal compared to 98.
Because they get a lot of evaporation from one climate too. Right?
Yeah, if they want to get rid of the water, that's right.
What happens when they have that 2 weeks of below 20 below zero?
If the
It
water-
ain't gonna be,
Well, you need to look at the temperature of the water.
but I say it's 20 below
Then the
zero.
ice might form down a bit lower, you know, but the VOD is still down at the bottom. The bacteria is still down in cold water.
When what happens if on the river it freezes all the way up, it's been clear up underneath this bridge, but then you'd have it right back in the river because of the
No, the water,
in a bad winter.
but the water from the wetland is not going to get back to the river. It's going to go into agriculture.
It does if that thing's all underwater out here.
No,
I mean, the
I'm not
ice
talking-
freezes clear up underneath of the bridge.
We looked at this data, you know, here's the river.
Taking that on the floodplain.
Yeah, you can't do it in the floodplain. Neither could Orchid.
Another thing, Harry has talked with the ranchers before, and he said Austin's would use it, but then Aldous didn't want it.
That was the last grade, yeah.
So if they don't want it, how do we make the system work too? They don't want the,
How do we get the land area?
you're dealing with a family that's been here, what, 100 years?
We agree your wetland principles are great, but we have to have some land.
So I knew Chuck over back, you know, from a year ago. So I went to Chuck and I said, you know, this is what we're looking at. And just in the conversation explaining it to him, he said, gee, I don't see how it can't work. Another time in the conversation he said, gee, it seems really simple. He said he was going to come and bring his dad today.
But that's on the other side of the highway.
That's right.
Yeah. How do you get,
And how farther, a mile further down or so, or?
oh, it's probably a mile and a half, 2 miles.
You can pump it. You can pump it all.
That's just a mechanical
Yeah.
system.
It's just water.
Well, I know.
We pump the water and pump it up. The mechanics of that can be solved. But whether we want to do that or not, I guess we could take the land by eminent domain. That's a possibility.
No way.
We're not doing that.
We may not elect to. I'm not saying we would do it, but I'm
Well, we
saying
could.
it is a possibility. It is an option. And we may not decide to do it.
Well, first of all, somehow we gotta find an area that we can put the wetlands in. And until you find some land, you're just talking principles. Where's the land?
Now, just a minute, you're saying that I'm going to have to find this.
I understand that.
I'm just trying to point out there is a solution. I'm trying to point out on the other side of the river there is land. You know, that's where my involvement. I talked to Chuck Overbacker. You know, he thought it made sense. You know, that's where it starts.
But Cal, I got another question. The volume of the effluent. It's fine to say we're going to use it for irrigation, but for 9 months out of the year, there is no demand for irrigation, and the volume of the effluent, engineering-wise, that seems to be more of a problem than will it work.
It's 5 months and it's 150 million gallons.
Well,
We have to do something.
whatever it is,
That's what it is.
The volume of the water.
If it's 20 feet deep, that's 20 acres.